Well, hello, everybody. This is Irina Strunina, and this is our podcast, Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360, where we are going every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time to speak with you about everything about diabetes. I invite great guests here. They're sharing their experience, their expertise. Every last Thursday of the month, I invite diabetes warriors. So if you feel like you are the one and you would like to share your story, please contact me and we will do that. And your story will be heard by many people. And today I have a very special guest. We met recently, but I am so glad that we did because Danielle is a great advocate for diabetes in general, and I would like her to tell us her story. So, Danielle, welcome to the show, and please tell us about yourself.
Thank you so much, Irina. It's been so nice to meet you too. It's like we just kind of bumped into each other on the internet. So I grew up with diabetes. I had it since I was 16 months old, type 1 diabetes.
Okay.
And in the beginning, it felt pretty alone, to be a kid with diabetes and to have the other kids not really understand. And so one of the best things that my parents did for me to help with my diabetes was to send me to a camp for kids with diabetes.
Mm.
And that kind of started my whole helping others journey. When I went to the camp, I stepped on, and it was all of a sudden like the thing that made me different than everybody else in the normal world was the thing that made me the same as everybody else at camp. And it was actually life changing. And so from there, I was a camper, and then I went as a counselor, and then I became the camp director, and that was excellent. After that, I worked for the American Diabetes Association, running programs for families of children with diabetes. And now I'm a diabetes motivational coach. I've also been running some support groups for adults with diabetes for a long time now. And so I have a lot of diabetes, right? It's it's all over.
Well, this is something new that I didn't hear from you in the past. So you actually, there are camps for kids with type
Mhm.
1.
And I need to tell you about it because one of the amazing things about this summer is that the Barton Center for Diabetes Education is actually giving camp away for free to any new camper.
Oh,
I
wow.
gotta say it again. Any new camper can go to camp for free at the Barton Center for Diabetes Education. It's a 2 week overnight camp, or they could do 1 week. So bartoncenter.org is their website. And that's just really great. But they do have camps all over the nation. The Diabetes Education Camping Association helps find diabetes camps. So if anybody knows somebody who could benefit, that's definitely a place to
Absolutely.
send them.
In our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners, every day we have
Mhm.
at least one parent joining our Facebook group because their kid got diagnosed with type 1 and they are absolutely lost and they don't know what to do and they are very worried. So, this is great information that I just learned and that we are going to push and share with our parents who are not diabetic themselves, or maybe they have type 2, but they have very little information about type
Mhm.
1. So this is
Yeah,
great thing, and it definitely will help kids just like it helped you to
yeah.
be more confident in life, right?
Yes. You won't believe how many alumni. We just had our first alumni event, and 70 alumni came. And you should see their faces and the pictures. It's like, just made me so happy.
Absolutely. Wow, this is great. Great start. Thank you for that. Okay, so that is actually puts our conversation in a very good position because I wanted to speak with you today about support system. Very often in our Facebook group, we have posts when people are saying that they're all alone, they don't have anybody to speak with, and they're happy that they found our Facebook group because they can speak their worries, their concerns, and people will understand them. So
Yes.
I would like to to talk with you about how people can build their own support system, because for somebody, all they need just understanding shoulder, and the rest of it they could do. The others are striving for information, but they are lost in this ocean, the universe
Right,
of
right.
information, and they don't know where to focus. But when you have a team working with you, a team of experts, maybe team of enthusiasts, uh, you can actually feel more confident. You could run your discoveries by them, and they may share with you some nuances that you maybe missed. So let's talk about it. So I would like you to answer this question from your position. Why in managing diabetes it is very important to have a support system?
So it's for me, it's so important, and for so many other people, it's so important. I also have a Facebook group for type adults with type 1 diabetes, and just like yours, they come and they say, "This has actually changed my life, just having a chance to be able to see other people with this." It changes your life because the things that you feel like you're all alone in, that you feel nervous when you get low, or that you feel like sometimes you got to sit down and take a break, or that you feel like you don't want to have a pump on your body. These things that you think maybe I'm the only one who's thinking about it, you realize so many people are thinking about it too, and it just normalizes it.
Yes, definitely. And let's talk about it. What would you recommend for people who people should look for to build their support system? Is it only medical professionals you're talking about, or there may be other people? What do you think? What your experience
Right.
shows?
My experience has shown that it definitely needs to have other people involved. Of course, you need your endocrinologist, your certified diabetes educator, and a lot of people, could benefit from a nutritionist, the whole team. But having the social emotional support is very important.
Mhm.
I'm at, as I said, I'm a diabetes motivational coach. And so people come to me either when they are so overwhelmed with their diabetes, they're checking like 500, not 500, but a lot of times a day. And they need help kind of reducing that stress.
Yes.
Or they come to me when they've just, they get, have gone past burnout,
Mhm.
and they're not checking anymore, and they're not having the things that they need to do to take care of the diabetes, and their A1Cs are above 10, and it is so hard to live like that. Even though people start to feel like, oh, I don't feel that bad, you'll see how amazing you feel when your A1C comes down into a healthier range. Um, and so I help with both of those communities, and I help them by, we take small steps. We don't go, oh, you need to get to a 7A1C or below 7, let's get there right now. We go, okay, where are you at? And what achievable step can we give you? Because when you take these achievable steps, you're gaining a lot of confidence. And when you try to get to 7 for so many years, you're losing a lot of confidence. So we need to build that back up. So, in addition to the healthcare team, a diabetes motivational coach can be amazingly helpful. Additionally, friends with diabetes, which you can get through your support group, your online community. And I recommend having like a post, like maybe one of your people puts up a post that says, where are you from, or how old are you? I'm looking for people to connect with, and say a little bit about themselves and actually connect. Like, it's a little scary for people to put themselves out there, but the more you put yourself out there, the better your connections will be, and the healthier emotionally you will be.
I sorry about that. I totally agree with you. And actually, I do see those posts periodically in our Facebook
Mm-hmm.
when people will say, um, my A1C was such and such when I got diagnosed. What about you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When people are saying, is there anybody else from this area?
Mm-hmm.
And people say, hey, I am in such and I am in such and such county. So they actually locally somehow close enough. Just this week, I did see the post. Somebody said, "Are there any in-person support groups meetings?" And I that actually we were talking about creating meetups in the
Yes.
local places for people in our community, but to meet in person. Um, we did not organize a single one of those yet, but I was thinking already how we can do that, because it could be our chapters.
Yes.
Diabetes 101 chapter, Texas chapter, Diabetes 101 Florida chapter, whatever people may have,
Yeah.
location may have. So, yes. How about, okay, you mentioned three healthcare professionals: the endocrinologist, the educator, and the nutritionist or dietitian. Um, what do you say about other medical professionals that people with diabetes need to visit on a regular
Mm-hmm.
basis,
Mm-hmm.
because this is such a 360 degrees
Yeah.
effect that diabetes has?
Well, of course, there's the podiatrist, and there's also your PCP, and there's also, mental health providers. And I guess that's what I want to, check into as well. Some people with diabetes are also struggling with comorbidities like anxiety and depression and other things. And depression is highly correlated with diabetes and so is anxiety. When you have to deal with these things day to day, it can really wear on you.
I
So,
Just a
yeah,
second, and thank you for mentioning it, because I do remember my husband when he had this diagnosis for a few years already, and his PCP asked him, "Do you feel depressed?" And he was like, "No, I am
right,
absolutely not depressed." And he was so against the idea. But me, as a his support person in the household, I could see that he is different person, that he is less
right.
involved, he's less enthusiastic, he's more upset about things that didn't upset him in the past. So
Right.
yes, this is so important, and we are not talking about it enough, I think.
Yeah. And so some people feel like a stigma with going to see a therapist. And that's where a coach can really come in and be helpful, because a coach is going to help lead you to the goals that you want to have. And everybody should have goals, right? Like there's not something wrong with you if you have goals. It's not a problem situation, it's a solution situation. And so that's why a coach can be helpful for people who do have that nervousness about going to see a therapist. And I also wanted to say, as a caregiver, it is important for caregivers to have that support as well. And
Yes.
so there are coaches for caregivers, and there are also therapists for caregivers. My friend Anna Florine is actually a coach for, or Anna Sabino, that was her maiden name, is a coach for adults with, parents of children with diabetes.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's a you are just sharing with us the information that not often comes to the conversation, because um, as a caregiver, I know it firsthand, and my
Mhm.
heart goes out to those who are in our Facebook group and in the world, helping people with diabetes. My position here is, uh, person who has this diagnosis, they at least go to the doctor and they can talk with doctors about their issues. Will they talk about it or not? It's a different story, but they have this available to them. The
Right,
the staff, the office staff, the recommended, dietitians and support specialists, this is something that is available to them and often paid by the insurance, and they can use it if they wish to. But their families or people who are supporting them they often don't go with them to those doctor's office. They
Right.
often don't participate in those meetings, and they are hanging in unknown land,
Hmm.
hoping to help,
Hmm.
but don't know how to help in the best way. And that
Yes.
puts caregivers into this hopeless
I
situation when
know.
you don't know, you are hanging here and you don't know what tomorrow brings, what to
Yes.
expect, what your action can cause. So definitely great reminder that caregivers need to take care of themselves, and
Hmm.
they need to get support from maybe therapists, maybe some diabetes educators who can help them.
Yeah. So, two things that you reminded me of. One is that as a diabetes coach, I do help people kind of come up with what questions you should be asking your doctor and give them tips of how to get the most out of their doctor's appointment. And
Yes.
then the other part for the caregivers end, I actually am working with a family, two sisters, who
Hmm.
one of them is so nervous about her sister's diabetes, and the sister's actually doing quite well with her diabetes. And so I'm helping them to let one of them show how that their what their boundaries are in needing help, and let one of them learn how to be helpful. Because when you're asking, oh, did you check your blood sugar, oh, what's your blood sugar, did you eat, did you do this, did you do that, it's just not helpful.
Yes,
So there's other ways to ask and other things to notice that can be helpful.
absolutely. And I can just confess that I was not the best caregiver.
So hard.
From that standpoint, because I was so worried, I
Mm-hmm.
was so concerned, I was um, trying to help the best I can. I was reading information, I was doing a lot of things, but I at the same time I was hitting the wall because I think I was too intense, and my husband was just like blocking all this, and it didn't help because
Yeah.
it was he was kind of like a child fighting against the parent, and
Stubborn, right?
yes, so
Mhm.
this was not a good situation. I understand it now. If
Mhm.
I was educated, or at least somehow clued about my actions and what it's causing, I might be different.
Yeah,
But back then, I wasn't taught. So
right.
this is why I'm so enthusiastic about bringing information to people with diagnosis and to their caregivers, to people with diagnosis and their family members. This is important for everybody, how to help and how to ask for help.
Hmm. Yes, exactly. Yes. And I think one thing that's really great about you and really great about me, if I can say, is that we share everybody's resources. We're not about like, oh, I'm the only one who can help you. Like I love that about your program as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And this is, I am very grateful for people. Today is Thursday, so it's a thankful Thursday. And I'm
Hmm.
grateful for people, for our members,
Hmm.
because we have so many members who got to the group, found information they were looking for, they put themselves together, got good results, and they didn't leave the group. They
Right.
stayed in the group, and they now are helping others who feels lost, who does not know the answer. I'm not saying that we have a medical degree, all of us, and you have to follow our directions, but the information that one can collect and then discuss this information with your care provider,
Right.
uh, like, do you think it will work for me? Do you think this is something that applies to me as well? That could be very useful, and I'm grateful that our members are sharing it. Sometimes
Hmm.
it's not even I got to this by doing that, but I went today to speak with diabetes educator, and they gave me this brochure, and they take pictures of this brochure and post it in a group because
Hmm.
that may
Right.
be useful and helpful for somebody who doesn't have this opportunity to see the diabetes educator.
Love that. Love that. One thing that I did want to say is that so when these people are posting in your group saying, I'd love to connect with somebody, I
Mhm.
do want to empower them or inspire them to make the next step. And when somebody posts on the post, that they reach out to them by Facebook message, because taking that first step is brave, and then taking the second step is somewhere that people stop sometimes. And so I want to just ask that people will take that second step to support themselves.
Well, yes, and actually, from one standpoint, we in a group don't want um, some coalitions to form because when it's in front of us, when the conversation goes in the Facebook group, we see what is going on. But I also know that sometimes people get sucked out into the private messaging, and I
Mm-hmm.
have no idea what those conversations are. And sometimes
Oh,
people are taken advantage of this
mm,
by somebody who has less pure
yeah,
intentions. So,
yeah,
but at the same time, I also know that we do have friendships and relationships started in our Facebook group because first someone comes to group with ideas, maybe with recipes, maybe with some, you know, tricks that help them, and they comment and they trying to calm down some others, and they may celebrate the successes of others, and that creates for them an image, and their name is already familiar in the
right,
group, so people
right,
trust each other, and they may
right.
become friends on their private accounts and have their conversations. So I am not staying against those positions. I still say that I will be careful with uh, forming coalitions outside of our Facebook group and claim that this is our creation.
Right. Yeah.
That
I guess like what I meant is to start those friendships, just like you brought up.
yeah,
And yeah, I didn't mean that like a business should be reaching out to people. And so I guess
yeah.
people do need to be wary of that.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, those situations happen, and I've
Right.
heard about them already post after this
Mhm.
happened. And I hope people are staying more aware and more careful about
Mhm.
all this because, after all, this is a Facebook group.
Right.
It's a public Facebook group. It's open to everyone to learn the information, to learn from each
Mhm.
other, to support each other, to keep each other accountable. But it's not the medical community where you could get diagnosis, prescriptions, and direct information, not a recommendation, what you should do. Whatever you are doing, you should consult with your healthcare provider. They have all your information. They have all your other issues that you need to be aware. Maybe you're allergic to something, and maybe the medication that you're taking for, I don't know, blood thinner will be responding differently, and you need to be aware of it. So um, just a reminder that we
Yeah.
need to remember all of it.
Also, you just reminded me also, I don't know if your viewers have ever heard, your diabetes may vary. It's like nobody has the same diabetes and
Exactly.
there's no one way to do it. So that's really important to remember.
That's actually the refrain that goes in our Facebook group all the time. Somebody will say that you all are saying that I must take this, but this causes me this
Mhm.
reaction, and but that helps me. And I would say that everybody should have
Mhm.
that. And
Right.
you will have the flood of comments saying everyone is different, everyone
Right.
is different. you could share your experience, but don't recommend it to everyone because everybody is different. Our members usually aware of it, but of
Oh,
course
good.
there are always could be one person who may take it personally and may get themselves in trouble. So
Yeah,
extra reminder is always good. It's not a bad thing. So thank you
right.
for bringing it
The
up.
people who are, I think, most vulnerable to it are the newly diagnosed because
Yes.
they're coming in and they're saying, "What can I do? Please just give me an answer," And I've done it for 40 years, over 40 years, and there isn't an exact answer. You got
Yes.
to learn through yourself.
Definitely, definitely. And with that, I just wanted to mention, you got to learn for yourself. The best way to learn it for yourself, to have yourself as an experiment subject and
Mhm,
just try it, right?
mhm,
And let your caregivers know that I am trying to do this. I am trying to do that. Help me with this, help me with that. Maybe the most important thing is remind me to check my blood sugar 2 hours after. Or one thing that I am happy to again remind everyone that we are working with this wonderful group. It's called MD Watch. And if someone has the Medicare, they will definitely be able to work with you uh, to help you to get their to get into their care. Basically, they will help you to get continuous glucose monitor. They will help you to sync it with the your phone. They will be monitoring it for you and remind you if you are actually off track, something is happening. Maybe you need to take care of your emotional condition. Maybe you are sick and you don't pay attention to the fact that your shoulder hurts, but that's information that is going on and you didn't think that this may be related.
mhm.
So anyone who is watching us, I wanted to mention they are working with our Facebook group. We are like second month, uh, like putting together our efforts. They are having the webinars. One was this month, the next one will be in month of December. And I would like people to consider, especially if they are on Medicare. If you have different insurance, still worth it. Reach out to them and try it and see if they can work with your insurance. But this is something that I am now telling everyone about.
Yeah, I definitely want to come to that webinar and learn more about it because I love to share resources, as you can
Yes,
tell. And so that
definitely.
sounds like a great one. Yes.
Definitely, definitely. Well, we are at the end of our, dialogue, our
Mm,
podcast today. Danielle, I am so glad that we were able to find this time, that you were available to have this meeting, this interview arranged, organized, because I know that information you have is very valuable and important for people. You see, just today, I learned several things that I didn't know or didn't pay attention to
mhm,
or didn't think that this may happen. So
mhm.
uh, I just envisioning how much more information we all can learn from you. So how people can reach out to you, how they can get in touch with you, please let us know and we will
Yes.
put it in comments under this post.
So, Diabetes Motivational Coaching is my business name, and my DM coaching is like our nickname. So, I use that for the website, www.mydmcoaching.com, and also for my email address, mydmcoaching@gmail.com.
Okay, perfect. So
Mhm.
as I said, we will post this under this video so in the comments, so it will be great. Anybody watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Anybody is watching us anywhere else, please share this with people that you care about, because sharing is caring, and we would
Yes.
like people to have information that we are offering here for our people. Don't forget that in our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners, every Tuesday we have Telenurse Tuesday, where registered nurses answering your questions. You just type it under the post in comments and they come and answer those. On every other Wednesday, we have support group meetings. They are in Zoom, not in Facebook, not in LinkedIn, anywhere. It's in Zoom. So you could go there and meet with our healthcare providers who join us there, with admins and other group members. And every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, we are here with you with our Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360 podcast. Listen, share, subscribe, do something to give somebody else information and hope. Thank you, Daniela.
Thank you. I'm so glad we got together. Have a great day, rest of your day.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.